All right, yeah. So I guess we'll jump into this. I don't know how long it's been since I posted a React video, but just not been feeling super into anything Star Citizen related lately, and I've just been kind of taking it easy for a couple days. Just need a bit of a break. But um the theme of today's reacts are going to be uh exploity. I think a lot of people remember the like duping stuff, and then they tried to like pit me and Foxy Loxy against each other and everything. And I had an opinion going into that you should not share exploits at all. There's an exploit system in the IC reporting and all that stuff. But CIG be CIG. So let's see how Cutlet, and this is Space Cutlet on YouTube and Twitch, a good friend of mine, awesome streamer, and let's see how he's approaching reporting exploits that are really old at this point. So here we go.
Oh, look, 54 million in my account.
Wrong one.
Oh, look, the cargo is there. What a surprise.
I'm going to move myself.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the channel. For those of you who are new around here, I'm Cutlet, your not-so-friendly Star Citizen content creator. I do a lot of piracy and science because that's the requirement for piracy, and as a result, my crew and I usually end up breaking things in the game. And today, that is exactly what we are going to talk about. This exploit was discovered by us back in the early 4.0 preview when we jumped on a random hull seed trying to move
in the preview. And if I know Cutlet, he reported it then.
Move cargo through the pyro jump.
Cutlet knows a lot of exploits, sends them right to the devs who would need to know them, shows them how to do them, shows them how to reproduce them, makes the ICs, does all the right things.
Gate. I did my best to keep it low-key and reported it privately, hoping it would be fixed ASAP. But apparently CG cares only if this kind of money printing goes wild in the community.
Yep, and that's why it's titled The Ultimate Hull C Money Printing Exploit in Star Citizen 4.0.2, and then it says this needs to be fixed. The money sign, all that stuff. Draw in all the people. Because if this is the only, like, I was always of the belief that you should do the right thing by the game, say all the, say it all privately, try to do right by the community, not let any of this stuff get out. He has all the contacts he needs to be able to get this done and have it resolved. But if they don't do anything about it, there's only one way at this point. And this was, I don't think the duping issue was tried. I don't think anybody who shared that one was trying to get it removed. They were trying to get it implemented into the game, and in a lot of ways, rightfully so. But this is something that everyone would agree doesn't belong in the game ever. And you go through all the right channels and nothing happens for that. This is in 2024 they figured this out, right? The preview was before the year was over.
There are multiple reasons why I'm putting this video on YouTube now.
It's like
besides
the end of February.
Generating baseline content, you have to understand that I'm both a gamer and a pirate. Piracy is all about a living, breathing game world. When players end up with hundreds of millions just sitting in their accounts without trading, mining, or salvaging, it really cripples the dynamic gameplay that makes piracy fun. Yep. So why now and not keep it quiet? Well, I reported this long ago. I hope it would be fixed quietly in 4.0.1.
Damn, I just noticed that he's flying what is it? The QI? The Mirai Guardian QI. Is this like a legitimately good interdiction ship? It seems like it, because it's a Mirai Guardian QI with the distortion shotguns, which are pretty powerful, is my understanding.
But it wasn't. so waited for 4.0.2. Now, with point 2 in OpenPTU and a series of patches already, CAG isn't taking this serious enough. Yes, the exploit works both in point 1 and point 2 as of now, so use that at your own risk.
Yeah, and there's also the other aspect of this is that players have been suspended, banned, maybe, and have had money removed from their accounts and things like that because of exploits like this. So use this exploit as at your own risk too. And I just want to say this: like when Captain Foxy Loxy talked about this stuff, not this stuff, but the duping thing, I posed the question: should somebody get in trouble if they share these things? And immediately after that, I said, no, I don't think so. Probably not. And then a lot of people went after me, saying that I was trying to get them banned or something, which, you know, classic, nobody listens. At this point, what other option does somebody like Cutlet have in this situation? I don't. If you want the game to get fixed, and you want them to prioritize the most important things, I don't know how you don't do this at this point, right? I used to be on the complete opposite side of the fence, but if CIG continues to act the way they do, and you're just watching them fix the most like minuscule bugs in every patch, and you're not seeing these things be prioritized, it's like, it almost seems like if it doesn't end up at the top of Reddit, if it's not talked about every content creator in the space, then nothing gets fixed. We're all turning against CIG. We're just trying to make them better. Just be better, and it should not have to get this far.
The whole point here is to raise awareness and force CAG to fix it before point 2 goes live. And here's the huge kicker. The upcoming Supply or Die event in Pyro, which most of you know about, adds a very expensive trade commodity, which, when multiplied with this exploit, turns your hull C into an infinite money printer. All right, with all that said, let's get straight.
Yeah, mega valuable commodity. So it just makes it makes this 10 times worse. So then Cutlet is even more in the right of like, hey, this breaks that gameplay as well and breaks the economy. Now what are you going to do, CIG? Like, you know, just really putting it out there.
For this exploit, you basically need two things: a hull C and a friend. Yeah, I know, asking for a friend means about 95% of you might bail just right now. Step 1. Load your hull C with cargo that belongs to another player. You can do this anywhere, in your extra large hangar while your body pulls up cargo.
Dude, this is all Dedatrine.
The freight elevator, at an outpost, or even an open space using a smaller ship to hold the cargo to the hull C. It's completely up to you. One important thing to notice: hull C cargo mass is dynamically calculated. In a gravity environment, as you load up, you'll eventually hit a limit and your hull C will start falling out of the skies.
Yeah, Cullet was the first one to figure this out.
We're falling. That's it, guys.
Oh no.
I'm full. Boosting.
Don't put more on.
The lower the gravity, more mass you can sustain. If you decide to load it on the outpost, I recommend vertical nose-up position, and the moment you see your hull C starts going backwards due to its mass limit, instantly boost up and leave gravity. The further you are from the surface, less gravity will affect you. Once you're done loading, and in case you're in Stenton, you should head over to Pyro. For those who haven't done hull C trading in Pyro before, here's a quick list of stations with cargo decks: Ruin Station, Arbitrary, Checkmate, Megumi, and Gaslight.
Okay.
At your preferred sell location, if the cargo wasn't actually stolen but was obtained by your party member, have them leave the party so the cargo is considered stolen. Then perform a normal hull C sell operation. Go to the trade terminal, execute the sell, and get back to your hull C. Request the cargo.
Oh, I think I know why this happens then.
cargo decks box, fly your ship into it, and wait for the system to process your order. Hull C can be a bit wonky. You might need to reposition yourself or just wait a little longer, but eventually you'll notice the unloading progress bar blink for a second and hear that confirmation sound. The server is just... Oh,
Yeah, the
is it
GG.
done? Check your wallet and you'll see it has been inflated with a new portion of AUEC. Press F4 to check that your cargo is still attached to your ship. Congratulations, you are a filthy exploiter. Now just head back to the trade terminal and sell it again. Rinse and repeat. I guess at this point I should ask to like and subscribe, and what is more important, follow me on Twitch, because this is it for the money printer exploit itself, and
Space Cutlet, 15,000 hours in SC. Mosted hated takes, smooth brain, unlimited rants. Definitely unlimited
a lot of you
rants.
will probably close the video at this point. For those of you who want to know the probable cause behind this exploit, how we discovered it, and the results we achieved when we pushed it to the limit, keep watching. It all started with our piracy hit on an unsuspecting Hull C trader who was trying to move agricultural supplies through the jump gate towards Stenton. During the encounter,
supplies
one
aren't
of our
even
guys
worth
got
much.
forcefully pushed by a wormhole back into the Hull C, turning it red and triggering its destruction by the gate protection turrets, which in itself is an awful experience for the Hull C pilot.
Oh my god. So Cutlet's guy rammed him. He turns red, and the turrets kill the whole city.
Honestly, kind of feel bad for the guy, and it's the whole other story how wrong the security system is.
Yeah.
After the Hull C lost all of its cargo spindles and was eventually blown up, we had no choice but to pick up the remaining cargo.
No, you had every choice but to pick it. You didn't have to, but...
I brought my own Hull C, and once we transferred what was left...
Let's put it this way. Most people would not choose to pick up processed food.
from their original cargo, we headed to one of the pirate stations with a cargo decks module.
Just to be clear, a full Hull C of those, isn't it about 100 boxes? So he's going to move 132 SCU boxes one at a time with a tractor beam.
I did the sell at the trade terminal as usual, but when I tried unloading at the cargo decks box, something weird happened. The cargo transfer was marked complete, yet the cargo remained on the ship. It took me a few attempts to sell to realize what is going on, but eventually it clicked. And I have 6.6 million.
Yeah. He had 5.8 before.
I had time to load up a Hull C with Slam.
We were just printing money. Fast forward to today,
you'll be fine, BB.
is out with the new supply
Good luck,
or die
good luck.
event,
I've had to do
and
that.
the exploit is still out there. With that in mind, we decided to push it to 11. One of the commodities for the event is Dedatrin, a very expensive commodity given its supply and demand. To buy Dedatrin, you head to one of the...
What's the buy? Buy 7.2, sell 10.9. Okay.
To buy Dedatrin, you head to one of the new depots across Pyro. These are usual open-air outpost locations with small freight elevators that let you pull up to 6 16 SCU boxes. With that in mind, we parked our Hull C in orbit about 100 kilometers above the outpost and started moving cargo with C2 and few other ships. It took us around 2 hours
I was
to
going to
fully
say,
load
how
the
many
Hull C,
hours?
since only one of the 3 elevators at the outpost was functional. Once loaded, we were set. We regrouped at Megumi Station with a few crew members on the Hull C in case of hostile boarding, a couple of fighters, and a small shuttle to take me from Hull C to the landing pad and back. Remember, your Hull C is in an extremely hostile environment the entire time, so a little protection goes a long way. And so it began.
Dorman was a part of this. Yeah, I was falling asleep at hour 3 of just moving boxes, and Cutlet is still locked in. Cutlet just does like 15-hour streams of the most boring Star Citizen gameplay possible, and just remains locked in the whole time. I don't know how he does it.
I parked the Hull C near the cargo decks and took the shuttle to the station. At the trade terminal, I executed the sell for more than 50 million AUC. Then...
You got that? 50 Mill.
Rushed back to the pad, took the shuttle back, and hopped into the hull C. The moment I got in, I requested the cargo decks offload and entered the offloading box. After a bit of aligning, the transfer completed instantly, and we got our first 50 million, paying back all of our investment. Oh look, 54 million in my account. Oh look, the cargo is there. What a surprise! I went for the second shuttle run, and in a few minutes, I was back in the seat and ready to get another 50 million.
Another 50.
And boom, done. Oh look, 104 millions in my account. Wow. On the third run, the station was already struggling.
Once again, he reported this last year to definitely people who work in the departments that matter the most here. And nothing. And now it's, you want your event to be good? You want your event to be... Yeah, and he reported that more than once. Right? You want your event to be good? You got to fix this.
With the demand, so we made only partial sell that was over 20 million. But since the commodity is bought
it's
by
a feature,
every
not a
station,
bug.
we
Yeah,
just
you're not going to
changed
get
our
those
sell point
arguments
and,
from people
repeated the
here.
process 2 more times, ending up with around 250 million before we got bored. We also tested whether the exploit would work with mission cargo, but it never did. It seems to be limited to normal trading only.
Do you see how legendary this is too? Do you see what they're doing? They're shooting off the boxes into one of their own hangars so they can put them down the freight elevator safely.
So we ended up unloading it manually into the freight elevator of the station. After all these tests, we came to the conclusion that hull C trading via cargo decks was never implemented with cargo ownership in mind. Back in Stanton, not a single station with cargo decks would allow you to sell stolen goods. This changed with the introduction of Pyro, but the system was never updated to handle
How
this
is he
scenario.
surviving these
now it
falls?
just breaks, unable to process cargo ownership correctly. So it simply leaves the cargo on the ship. This effect...
Yep, that's what I was thinking it was too, was nobody has ever... because there is no cargo deck at wherever it is. I think it's Crusader L5 or something like that, that has a like a no questions asked terminal, but there are no cargo decks anywhere else. There's a no question asked terminal. There's no cargo decks at Grim. There's no cargo decks at the outposts on the whatever they're called, the scrap yards, right? So they just never thought of this, and it literally it's just an oopsie. This is literally just an oopsie. I don't know if it's just an oopsie to fix, but it is literally just a whoops, we didn't think of that one. And yeah, you got to get this fixed.
Turns any stolen or transferred cargo into an infinite money printing loop, as the game fails to recognize that it should have been removed after a sale. All right, and there you go. To wrap things up, I cannot stress this enough. Printing 50 million every few minutes is not okay.
Yeah.
We kept it low-key because the profits weren't crazy. We were just hoping for the fix. Sure, you could technically min-max it by loading multiple different commodities into your hull C to distribute the demand load at the stations, but that requires a lot of effort, game knowledge, and knowing about exploit in the first place. In the end, it just wasn't worth talking about. Until now. With 4.0.2 and this event on the horizon, there is no way to hide. The player base will find out eventually.
I mean, they all know now.
Someone will pick up.
That's the debate here, is like, is he doing the right thing? I think when you've waited this long for a fix of something that is this problematic, I think the answer is yes at this
stolen
point.
Cargo on their hull C, and if the patch goes live like this, there won't be a quick fix. This has to be fixed before the live build. We've seen so many exploits and duping issues in 4.0, and CAG never bothered to wipe. We still have some other exploits, I won't mention them here, but this AUC printing is ridiculous. If this goes live with the event, it might as well be the last nail in the what economy coffin. Expect the usual late wipe scenario where people are bragging about tens of millions and billions exploited and throw them left and
To be honest, that's already happening.
right. I know some of you will say, who cares, it's an alpha, or you exploited, now you don't want everyone else to benefit, or even, haha, you're mad you won't have anyone to pirate, griefer. To that,
Yeah, obviously. Like we all okay, if you're happy with CIG's idea of this whole I'm going to fix the game, not add any new features, then you're going to want the experience to be as engaging and I guess sandboxy or I don't know, emergent as possible. And this will remove that emergent gameplay as quickly as possible, right? The sooner that you hit an amount of money and all the ships that you want and all those things, that's gone. Now, obviously, this requires a whole C. That's very expensive. Not everybody has that. There's a lot of little loopholes that you need to jump through to get to this point to be able to do these things, right? But the problem here is they're printing. I don't even know if CIG cares. I mean, look at their missions. Their missions are literally money printers. I don't understand the choices around the economy. I continue to say I'll just let them cook, but at some point it's going to have to be like, yo, what are you what are you guys doing? What are your intentions here? What are your plans? What are your goals for what you're doing here? And I imagine a lot of people were able to earn a whole C at this point, more than in any patch ever before, especially with Phase 3 for Fight for Pyro. It's just endlessly printing 250K over and over again. Yeah, like goals for the economy, Antares. Like what were your goals for 4.0 with they spent a lot of time on balance of weapon prices and component prices and these things. And then the missions just print money. So I don't get it. And then this takes that and makes it exponentially. I mean, 50 million at a time is nuts.
I say, yeah, it's an alpha, but I do care. I care about my content as a creator and the game as a gamer. I don't want to see an emptyverse where everyone flies their exploited 890 jumps only caring about screenshots because they have no goals to bother months after the wipe.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, if their goal is to focus on the game and the playability of the game, it's not just about fixing bugs. It's about the day-to-day on what your intentions are for players. What are your design goals and choices that you want players to do each day? And with the choices that they've made and the lack of pace in fixing exploits like this, it's not good, right? Like nobody's going to want to play games like this. Like New World wasn't a very good game off the bat. You got the day one, MMO kind of grind and feel that's super fun and exciting. But the moment you realize that everyone was exploiting everything, it was just
and no,
over.
We haven't exploited this beyond the initial discovery. We probably got an extra few millions on top, and that's about it. It is fun to dig into the game's inner workings and bugs, but sitting and printing money like there is no tomorrow is just boring.
Yeah.
On that note, I'll leave you guys to decide what to do with this information. It would be great if you spread the word and made the community aware so we can pressure CIG to fix this before it's too late, hopefully. And if you made this far into the video, mad respect. Drop a comment down below with what...
Yeah, I mean, that's... drop a comment with what economy down below. That's the message here, is hopefully CIG can fix this before it's too late. And it might be too late already.
What economy, so I know you're one of the real ones. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch for more Star Citizen Chaos. I'm Cutlet, and I'll catch you in the verse.
That was oops, I just clicked his channel, so I might as well link his channel to you guys then. There you go. That's Cutlet's channel. Get subscribed over there. Me and Cutlet have had quite a few talks about how to make videos like this, and he's gotten so good. That video is so good. You should be really proud, Cutlet, on a lot of the things that we talked about. That's super awesome. And then the contested zone video and all that stuff. He's doing really good, so you guys should get subscribed over there. But what I will say is, yeah, I can see how some people may feel a little weird about this and stuff like that. I certainly would have thought this was a terrible idea a few months ago. And at this point, CIG just needs a kick in the pants. And if this is it, then, you know, if we see this get fixed, then he made the right decision. If we see this get exploited to no end and then there's a wipe, everyone's going to hate him and they're all going to blame him for it. I know how that feels. But in the end, I think his intentions are good. And it's straight up just, we want this game to be better, right? And hopefully it is better. And, you know, you see somebody say, well, wipe incoming. Don't count on it. I don't think they're going to do any wipes. So I don't know what the goal is here. I have no idea. And I don't think it matters that much, but it has to start mattering. Like right now, today in 4.0.1 or 2, does the economy matter? No. Just like Cutlet said, what economy? But it has to start mattering at some point. And I think we as members of the community, if you're going to make this initiative to fix a lot of bugs, there's a lot of things that you can do that don't involve adding new features and all these crazy things to help with the economy stuff. Wiping makes no sense because there is no economy. Exactly. So they have to start building that, and they've done a lot of that heavy lifting with the price changes and things like that. And then, like I mentioned earlier, they kind of undermined all of that by making the missions really pay out a ton. And yeah, I just not really sure what the plan is and what the goal is, but hopefully over the course of 2025, to any player who logs into the game, not somebody just like myself who's like following every little minuscule aspect of it, should be able to go, oh, I see what you're doing here. I see what the goal is. And I don't know if we're going to get that based off of what we see, but hopefully they get through the changing of the prices of everything, and then we'll have to see. And I don't know, you know, and that's where we're at right now with no economy. There's nothing that drives player action outside of purchasing ships in the game. And then once you have purchased those ships in the game, I've talked about this a bunch of times. What's the difference between purchasing a Freelancer Max and something of similar cargo capacity? What's the difference between the main differences are Vulture, anything that can run cargo that you've never used before, prospectors, moles, you know, things that unlock gameplay for you. There's very few ships that do that, and most of them aren't super duper expensive, at least at the entry level. And then every other ship there's a meta combat ship, there's some meta ships to do missions and stuff with, and then outside of that, it's just another cockpit to sit in and a different viewpoint that the game is showing you. So hopefully we see more than that in 2025. That's all I'm looking for. Like with the initiative on top of fixing bugs, it should also be fixing a lot of issues with the economy and starting to build it from the ground up. And I think that they're in the process of doing that. It's just not moving at a pace that any of us want to. But anyway, great video, Cutlet, and fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed, because that event's going to be horrible if this happens.